My little brother's imaginary friend wasn't so imaginary. So, I found this creepy but underrated story on Reddit. A user shared how their little brother had an imaginary friend. But as time went on, they realized something was very, very wrong. It started when their 5-year-old brother, Max, began talking to someone named Mr. Buttons. The family thought it was normal. Kids make up imaginary friends all the time, right? But soon, Max's behavior changed. He refused to sleep unless Mr. Buttons said it was okay. He left out snacks, saying Mr. Buttons gets hungry at night. But the scariest part? Max started saying things that a 5-year-old shouldn't know. One day, he told his mom, "Mr. Buttons says he used to live here before the bad thing happened." That night, the older sibling, curious but creeped out, decided to test something. They took Max's favorite stuffed animal and placed it in the kitchen. The next morning, it was back in Max's bed. When they asked him, Max simply shrugged and said, "Mr. Buttons doesn't like it when you move my things." At this point, the family started digging into the history of the house. What they found? Terrifying. Years ago, a man named Mr. Buttonwood had lived there. He disappeared under mysterious circumstances and was never found. After that, they moved Max's bed to another room, and slowly, he stopped talking about Mr. Buttons. But here's the weirdest part. On the last night before they moved, Max whispered, "He says goodbye, and he'll miss us." So, was it just a kid's imagination? Or did Max have a connection to something else? What do you think? Let me know in the comments. The Whispering Shadows. Meet Alex, a college student who had just moved into a quaint off-campus apartment. The building was old, with creaky floors and vintage fixtures, but the rent was affordable, and it was close to campus. Alex was thrilled to have a place of his own. From the moment he moved in, Alex noticed an unsettling presence. At night, whispers echoed through the halls, too faint to decipher but too clear to ignore. He brushed it off as the old building settling or perhaps his neighbors. But the feeling of being watched persisted. One evening, while studying for an upcoming exam, Alex's desk lamp flickered and then went out, plunging the room into darkness. Annoyed, he reached for his phone to use the flashlight. As he did, he caught a glimpse of a shadow darting across the room in the phone's reflection. Heart pounding, he turned quickly. But nothing was there. Determined to uncover the source of these disturbances, Alex spoke with his neighbors. An elderly woman in the adjacent apartment hesitated before sharing that the building had a history. Decades ago, a tenant named Mr. Thompson had disappeared without a trace. Rumors swirled that he had been involved in dark rituals, attempting to communicate with the other side. That night, unable to sleep, Alex heard the whispers again, clearer this time, seeming to come from the walls themselves. Gathering his courage, he followed the sound to a small closet in the hallway. Inside, he noticed a loose floorboard. Prying it open, he discovered a dusty, leather-bound journal belonging to Mr. Thompson. The entries detailed his descent into madness, claiming that shadows spoke to him, promising eternal knowledge in exchange for his soul. Frightened by the revelations, Alex decided to leave the apartment. As he packed his belongings, the whispers grew louder, more insistent. Shadows danced on the walls, forming grotesque shapes. In a final act of desperation, Alex set the journal on fire, hoping to sever whatever connection remained. The flames consumed the book, and with it, the whispers ceased. He moved out the next day, leaving the haunted apartment and its dark history behind. Some places hold echoes of the past, lingering like shadows, waiting for someone to listen. Thanks for tuning in. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more chilling tales. Now, let's get back to the game.